Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be making an embroidered hoodie. All you need is scissors, carbon paper, needle, some embroidery thread, embroidery hoop, sweatshirt or piece of clothing, and scissors. So I'm going to go ahead and open the hoodie outside the packaging. And when I was buying this, I was aiming for more of a pastel yellow, but I ended up being a little darker pastel or brighter. The design I want to do is lovely across, like around the chest area. So I'm going in with the embroidery hoop to see where I want to place it. And I wanted it around like the chest area, so I went in with a ruler and measured both sides in order to be able to center the design. So once I figured out where I wanted the design, I placed the paper with the design on it and figured out exactly where I wanted to place it. And then I'm going to go in with pencil to mark the edges of the paper, just so when I pick it up, I know where to place the back on the sweatshirt. Now I'm taking some carbon paper because carbon paper is what is going to help imprint the design onto the hoodie. Marks from the carbon paper is going to come out after washing the hoodie. So initially I placed the carbon paper under the design the wrong way. The black side of the carbon paper is supposed to face the hoodie, not the other way around. Like, do not do that or nothing will imprint. So I went ahead and taped the sides of the design so it doesn't move while I'm trying to trace it. But I had to go back in and fix the mistake I made. This is me taking off the tape and flipping the carbon paper after I realized what I had done wrong. It's okay to make mistakes. This is more of like a calm activity for quarantine. So then I placed the carbon paper on the hoodie. Went ahead and put a book underneath the sweatshirt, the first layer of the sweatshirt. So I had a hard surface to imprint on. And this is what it looked like after tracing the design. It was a little vague, so I went in with a regular pencil and corrected the design or made it darker. So now it's time to pick out the colors, and that's the design on the side. I wanted the edges to be a darker color than the inside. I wanted the inside to be more of a pastel color and then the outside be darker, and this is the threads I picked out according to the design I had. Now I'm going to go in with the embroidery hoop. And if you've never used one of these, I suggest you watch a video on it because it's kind of hard to figure it out. And also I would say practice on like a regular piece of cloth before you go in with something like a hoodie, just so you feel more comfortable. So I placed the hoop on the sweatshirt, but then I realized the letter Y couldn't fit in. So I just placed it on the other letters, and you want to put one of the hoop underneath the sweatshirt and then the other one that has the screw on top, and then you want to pretty much pull the clothing through and then tighten it so it's easier and more stable to work with. So now I'm going to go ahead and pick my needle, and I picked a needle that could fit 2 threads because I was only going to use 2 threads of the embroidery, and I have a wide range because I stole this from my mother who sews. So it's okay if you only use 1 needle. It shouldn't make that much of a difference. It's just smaller needles help with accuracy. So I'm going in with my thread, my embroidery thread. And embroidery threads come in 6 strings. So one piece of embroidery thread has 6 strings of. I only took a small amount And then I cut it, and I went ahead and split the thread and took 2 strings out because that's as much as I needed. I didn't want the edges of the letters to be too thick. And this process is really tricky because if done incorrectly, you could potentially create a knot within the thread, and that's not what you want. So if you're unfamiliar with it, there are ways to make it easier. So now I'm going to put it through my needle. And when you put it through the needle, you don't want to make both strings equal. You want one to be 1/3 of the length of the other. And then you want to tie the end of the longer string and cut off the excess at the bottom of the longer string that you just created a knot in. So then I'm going to start from the back and just trace around the pattern that I created. I first started off with a running stitch, but then after, what I'm doing now is a running stitch. And then after, I realized it would be better to do a chain stitch just so it looked more uniformed. Once again, it's important to watch videos on like specific things, such as like the different type of stitches before doing something like this. So running stitches usually leaves a space in between, but once I started doing the chain stitches, they were all closely bounded like that. And the back, that's the back, which looks pretty neat. And then to knot it, you want to take the needle and put it through a previous stitch and then put it through the hoop, and then that ties a knot once you pull it. That's how you create a knot at the end that's clean. And then you just cut it and that's it. So this is what it looked like once it was done. I was pretty happy with it. This was a lengthy process, but these are the pastel colors I'm going to go in with and fill in the centers of the letters. So I go in on one side and then I come back, go cross to the other side, and then when you're coming back from like behind the sweatshirt, you want to come back the same way you went in, just to save thread. You don't want to keep you don't want to embroider both the front and back, if that makes sense. So that's what it's looking like. I also went back in. For this, I used 3 strings. So once I was done, I went back in with 2 strings just to clean it up, with 2 strings of the embroidery thread, because it looks neater once you go back in. This is how it looked once it was all done, and I really liked it. It turned out better than I thought. This is the first hoodie I've embroidered, so I felt pretty proud, and this is what it looked like on. I really liked it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.